Hi, my name is Ron Frost. I'm a business coach, I'm a life coach, I'm an author, and I'm a speaker. I want to thank you for coming to my website today. The number one thing about giving motivational speeches is not only to motivate somebody, but to create lasting, positive change. My speeches follow certain basic principles that if we apply these principles in our life, regardless whether we're in sales, whether we own a business, whatever our activity is, whether we're in management or whether it's about relationships or perhaps our personal well-being or our health, these same principles will help us produce more positive results in our life. This is what I teach. I put together a program that's absolutely fun, it's engaging, there's tools and techniques that everybody leaves with, and I think you will enjoy it too. Here's a few samples of some of my recent speeches done in front of different size audiences and in front of different organizations. So you have to be able to let go of what it is that isn't necessarily working for you. Regardless of what your parents may have said, your high school guidance counselor, regardless of what maybe society in general pigeonholes us into. We are infinite creators. We can create anything that we want to in our life. We have the ability to be, do, and have whatever it is, and we need to be able to connect with that. And it is our passion. When we're living our passion, we are giving our gift to the world. And we can even do what's called not only emotional clearing, but we can clear physical objects. How many people have heard actually cleaning out your closet, cleaning out your garage? All right? That thing that should be on Craigslist or Goodwill or out on the street. By moving that, this is an activity quite often that is done around this time of year. By moving the items out of our life that no longer serve us, whether it's a limiting belief or whether it's a physical object, by letting it go, actually allows us to grow. It creates that vacuum in our life for some people.
I just hated this job. I didn't like cubicles. I didn't like fluorescent lights. It felt stale. I didn't like the energy there. And yet I had dedicated my time for this one last degree to become a mechanical engineer, and I hated what I was doing. How many people have ever been in an experience where you just know it's not this? They don't know what it is, but they just know it's not this. So here I was saying that I know I needed to do something different. And what I related to was where I saw excitement. I had two friends that were actually in sales, outside sales. So I moved down there, and I was going from a secure salary, paycheck, to something that was called 100% commission. All right? Don't sell, don't eat, don't live. And I'm like, I can do this! I went and I took the Dale Carnegie sales training program. Anybody been through a Dale Carnegie program? They're excellent. And I went through professional selling skills, and I knew this equipment because I had designed it, so I knew it was phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
Within 3 months, I hadn't sold anything. And within 3 months, I was really feeling this is not me. I can't do this. You know, talking about the genetic, you know, the blood type for an engineer. Maybe I really am an engineer and I just hate it. I got to go back. And I didn't want to admit it to my family. And actually, I did sell one thing. I sold my car. My phone started ringing me. I was getting hang-ups, and I was calling. This was the point where now things would seem to come to me. And by doing this practice, I realized I really sold myself that the law works. See, it's not so much the outcome, it's the lesson. The lesson is greater. It's the greater value. So I sold myself that this stuff really works. And I actually landed a very, very large sale. It was one of the largest sales of the company. It was to a company called Attitude of Gratitude. Yes, we know that there are difficulties in the world, but we can change. We can change ourselves. We can change the way we look at it. Martin Luther King didn't say, I have a problem. He didn't say, I have an issue here, man. I have a serious situation. He said, I have a dream. And he infused that attitude into millions of people, making a shift. And I believe he made a sincere difference in this world. So we can all do that, whether it's on a small scale or a grand scale. When I was in 4th grade, I had a handicap. I had a stuttering problem. And that time in my life, I withdrew. I was closed.
I didn't want to get in front of a class to speak. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to be part of life. Other kids made fun of me, and the more nervous I got, the more that stuttering problem came out. My teacher talked to my mom and suggested that I go to a speech therapist. To me, that was the worst thing ever. I felt at that point I was really handicapped. Now I'm the special child that has to go to a different room while the other kids get to play in a regular room. But it was a blessing. Matter of fact, that speech therapist, I believe, saw something greater in me than I saw even in myself. She renewed a sense of confidence. Besides being able to speak in a calmer manner, besides being able to get rid of the jitters and you feel more comfortable and not stutter, I was able to gain the confidence that I believe not only opened me up, not only allowed me to become more socially accepted and have friends and play sports, but it changed my pathway. Exactly what happened. This 2-hour speech was probably phenomenal, but the next man that stood up gave a 2-minute speech that captivated and motivated an audience, that touched the hearts of thousands of Americans, that united a nation. That man was Abraham Lincoln. That speech was the Gettysburg Address. The real question is, what is your Gettysburg Address? What is the greatness that's in you that's seeking to merge the art of speaking? The word, the phrase, that nothing is impossible to a mind that believes. Now, I believe there are two characteristics, two fundamental things that the successful mind, the mind that believes, does consistently. That is, they believe that they can. Number one principle, they believe that they can. And secondarily to that is number two, which is they practice the techniques, the methodologies, the ways of being able to use their mind to create success. It's got some really good looking Nikes there. It's probably got that Kevlar stuff in them. I bet you they're fast. Maybe I didn't eat a lot of carbohydrates last night. Maybe I'm not even hydrated enough to run today. So I started defeating myself. And when a gun would go off, I would begin running, putting in my 100%, but the moment the first person would pass me, I would then begin to become defeated in my mind. The second person would pass me, I would start to say, well, you know what, maybe I'm not. The power of belief. If you take the two principles of believing that you can, and don't buy into anybody's excuses, not even your own, and you practice the techniques of affirmations, visualization, and goal setting, then no matter what your goals are, desires or dreams are, you will achieve them with success. Because nothing is impossible to a mind.